Live from the Community Media Center of Marin, it's Marin Sanity! Starring Danny Detchi, Bridget Schwartz, Griffin Daly, and your host, Adam McLaughlin.
Oh my goodness, you made it! Welcome to Marin Sanity, the show you've got to be crazy to miss. There's one guy that's really into it. All the rest of you are like, it's all right. My name's Adam McLaughlin. I'll be your host for this evening. Hello, hello. Hello to you too. So I'm not originally from Marin. I'm from the East Coast, and there's a little bit of culture shock around Marin. There's differences to me, like where I'm from. If your friend says to you, my parents are going to swing around the neighborhood before dinner, it has a totally different meaning in Marin. Where I'm from, it means your parents are active in the community. Whereas here, it's like your parents are active in the community. And if you don't get the joke, go home, talk to your parents. The other one I like this one. I like riding bikes. Riding bikes. This is very different. Where I'm from, if somebody's like, I rode my bike to work, the translation is, I have a DUI. Like, that's why you ride your bike to work. Whereas here, like, people are riding around on $2,000 bicycles. Like, I went to a bike store the other day, and just to be a dick, let's be honest, I'm not going to buy anything, but I went into the bike store, and I was like, how much is this bike? He's like, $2,000. I'm like, $2,000? I could buy a white baby for $2,000. And he was like, yeah, but you couldn't ride it to work. And I'm like, don't you judge my parenting techniques. It's my kid. I could just imagine, my dad used to dress up for for Christmas every year as Santa Claus, and we'd sit on his lap and tell him what we wanted for Christmas. I could imagine my dad, if I'm like, I'd like a $2,000 mountain bike for Christmas, Dad. Oh, fuck yourself, Adam. Go fuck yourself. My dad was a great man. I moved to San Francisco when I turned 21, and my dad used that as proof of the assumption he made in 1982 that I'm gay. And I knew, even when I was 5 years old, I knew asking him for that strawberry shortcake easy bake oven was going to come back and bite me in the ass. All right? But it was a toy that made cupcakes, and I was a fat kid, okay? I needed that toy. I didn't even wait for the oven to cook. In all honesty, I just ate the dough. It could have just been, called Dough Kit, and I'd be like, yes. This guy knows what I'm talking about. That light bulb took forever. So I'm a nerd. But here's the deal. Please don't ask me to program your computer. Please don't try to get me to answer any technological questions you have. That is not me. That's a programmer. All right? I'm a fanboy. And I understand the confusion that people have, all right, because we're very similar. Where it's kind of like we're part of the same genus, but not the same species. We're kind of related. The way that the chickens and velociraptors are related. You know what I mean? Because the programmers are raptors, right? They have all the tools they need to get ahead. Whereas me, I'm just hoping nobody's noticed how plump and juicy my breasts have gotten. Similar. I read comics. I love comics. I've been reading comics since I was a kid, and I remember reading comics as a kid, and I'd read, and I'd be like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be Wolverine. I want to be Wolverine when I grow up. And now I'm 37 years old. I still read the same comics, and now I'm like, man, Wolverine does a lot of running. I think now, if I got to pick somebody to be like, I would be Professor Xavier. That seems to be more my speed, where you just sit and you think about what everybody else is doing. That seems to be more my level. Somebody asked me once, my wife actually, on one of our first dates, she asked me, she's like, if you had a superpower, what would your superpower be? And I was put on the spot, so I was like, time manipulation. Definitely time manipulation. And she was like, why? I'm like, shit, I didn't think she was going to go that far. I'm like, well, sometimes you miss a TV show that you really want to watch, and then I get to go back in time, and I get to watch a TV show, or I hate commercials, and I get to fast forward through the commercials, and it was halfway through that, I'm like, Roku, I want to be a Roku. I want to be a DVR when I grow up. That's my superpower. How pathetic. So that was a wake-up call for me, so I decided I needed to start doing shit, so I started hiking. I went hiking once. I did it once. I started. Have you guys been hiking? It's really cool. It's beautiful. It's really realistic. The graphics are amazing. It's like, so I was walking through the woods, and I'm hiking around, and I had an empty bottle and nowhere to throw it away, and it drove me nuts. There's no garbage cans, but there was a stream, and then an idea popped in my head. I always carry paper around and pens, so I jotted down a little message, I put it in a ball, and I threw it into the stream, right? Hey, problem solved. And to a lot of people, that seems like clever littering, all right? But it's not. It's magic, all right? I'm adding to the magic of the world. Because just imagine how amazing it's going to be like 10, 20 years from now when some kid on the beaches of Australia finds my Gatorade ice cool bottle washing up onto the shore, and they open it up and they read the message that says, please recycle this bottle. I couldn't find a garbage can in the woods. That's magical. Are you guys ready for a fun show? Damn straight. All right. Your first comedian, his stand-up comedy has been described as Woody Allen on Valium. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Danny Detchi.
Hi, everybody. Woo. I almost didn't make it here on time. Yeah, I just flew in from Chicago, and my cape got caught in the lamppost. So, I'm Danny Detchi. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a graduate of Heels Business College. I'm losing my hair, and I work at Radio Shack. So, yes, I know you ladies are getting all excited, but please don't rush the stage. Okay, thank you for your cooperation. And, this always happens to me. Whenever I go into a store, customers come up to me and they ask me questions because they think I work there. I mean, do I look like an assistant manager? Yeah, for example, last weekend I was over at the sports shop in the mall just minding my own business when this guy comes up to me with a parking garage ticket in his hand. He says to me, "Excuse me, sir, can you please validate me?" I go, "Sure, you're a good person, everyone likes you, and you smell nice." And the guy goes, "Oh, very funny, wise guy. I was talking about my ticket." So I look at his ticket and I say, "You're a good ticket, everyone likes you, and you smell nice." Yeah, and then this guy gets mad at me, starts yelling at me, and then the store manager comes over and he fires me. Yeah, I don't even work there and he fires me. Man, that was humiliating. Although I did get my 2-week severance pay. Cool. So, I live in San Francisco, and in my neighborhood we got this new restaurant. It's called Sophie's Homestyle Cooking, and they brag it's just like Mother used to make. The only problem is every few minutes the cook comes over to your table and complains about your father. Yeah. Yeah, you know that store, that women's clothing store is called Forever 21? Yeah, they're going to come out with a store for men. It's going to be called Forever 12. Yeah. So, throughout world history, there have been so many book burnings that you would think that Amazon Books would come out with a better name than Kindle and Kindle Fire, don't you think? Yeah. Oh, did you see the survey on MSNBC News? It said that 62% of America's workers are having sexual relationships with someone else in the same workplace. So that got me thinking, man, I need to get a job. Yeah, my last job was actually a pizza delivery guy, and I got fired for having a perfect driving record. Yeah, what happened was my boss got suspicious, and he found out that I did not have a car. I was delivering the pizzas on the bus. But I do have a car now. I got me a used car, real man's car. I got me a big old 79 Oldsmobile. It gets an estimated, I don't care, miles per gallon. And its hood ornament is a smart car. So he took my car for a car wash and a Brazilian wax. Yep. Yeah. And when I got my car back, all the carpets were gone. Cool. Great. How about a little music? Yay. Woo. All right. Okay, I like to play this classic piece, Putting on the Ritz. Putting on the Ritz. Number 2 pencil. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. All right, okay. Rock. How about a little rock and roll? Okay, we will rock you, right, Queen? Okay. Excuse me. We will rock it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, yeah, this is the time of the year with all the big holidays come along, and always reminds me when I was a kid, I was about 10 years old. It was a Christmas Eve. My parents were tucking me into bed, and they had this serious look on their face, and my father says to me, Danny, my son, remember when you were 8 years old, we told you that there's no such thing as an Easter bunny? I go, yeah. He goes, well, my son, we know that tonight's Christmas Eve, but now that you're 10 years old, your mother and I think you're old enough now that you should know that there is no God. Yeah. And we're Jewish. Yeah. So here's your plastic dreidel, happy Hanukkah and sweet dreams. Yeah, so I went to this movie theater and went to see this movie. And right in the middle of the movie, this guy is talking on his cell phone. And I tell him, hey, can you please put your cell phone away? Watching the movie. And which he does. He puts his cell phone away. Then a few minutes later, I'm talking on my cell phone. Yeah. And this guy says to me, hey, how come I can't talk on my cell phone and you can? And I tell him, well, that's because I am a hypocrite. Yeah. Whoops. Okay, name this tune. What is Jeopardy? Yes, what is Jeopardy? Yeah. Thank you. It's a boring game. Okay, so people tell me, hey, Dan, you're always happy, you're smiling, nothing bothers you. Do you do drugs? Do you drink a lot? You go, no, nothing like that. I rely on something more natural. It's called denial. Yeah, denial gets a bad rap, but actually it's a good thing. Denial is what helps us avoid reality while still being a contributing member of society. So, okay, well, before I get off the stage, I just want to let you know I'm also available for birthdays. Bar mitzvahs. And also available for weddings. Thank you. I'm Danny Dutcher. Good night, everyone.
Danny Deci! I'd tell you where to buy his CD, but do you really want to hear more music with a pencil? Anyway, up next, after a 10-year hiatus, she's back to confuse you and make you squirm with discomfort. Please put your hands together for Bridget Schwartz.
Hi, everybody. I just want you to know I'm turning over a new leaf. I got in trouble at work on Friday. I found out Casual Friday does not mean showing up drunk with cum in your wig. It's a mistake you will not have to make now. A little too casual. So I'm on a self-improvement program because all Californians are, right? We're always trying to fix ourselves and make ourselves better. So I'm reading Proust. At least I'm trying to read Proust, but my monocle keeps falling out. It won't stay in. The other thing that I'm trying to do is drink a lot of water, which is really inconvenient. If you drink the allotted amount of water, you find yourself constantly running to the restroom. And I tried to drink a whole gallon of water one day and then go on a hike, which is also part of my self-improvement program. And since it's getting dark so early, I was sort of out there at dusk. And I realized I really had to pee. So I thought, well, there's nobody around. I'll just duck in these bushes and hang a whiz. And as I was peeing, a person in the form of a skunk. And I was mid-pee when I realized this probably isn't a very good idea. And I didn't know what to do because I couldn't stand up. And the skunk just sort of stared at me. And while I was peeing, I was trying to figure out what would happen if he actually sprayed me. I just went, "Shh, go away, skunk, go away. Your mother wants you." And the skunk ran away, but I thought, what would happen if he had sprayed me? I would call in sick to work. And they'd say, "What's the matter?" And I'd say, "I got sprayed by a skunk." And they'd say, "How did you get sprayed by a skunk?" And I'd say, "Well, I was peeing in the park." Which makes total sense, doesn't it? I'm sorry, I have to look at my notes. I had quite a career before I quit. This is why I had to quit. I was always right on the verge of something wonderful happening, some great career thing happen, and people would say, "Yeah, we want to do this with you, but you can't bring your notes up." And I could not remember my act. And I don't really look at them, I just have to have them. And they'd say, "You cannot do a show with us unless you learn your act without notes," and there were no teleprompters, nothing. So I tried writing on my shoes, but I can't see that well, so I was always going like this. And it really ruined my career. I can't remember. I mean, I would have to do auditions and learn just 3 lines, and I'd go out and I don't have it written. I could not function, really, in the show business world without notes. So I decided just to say, screw it, I'll just do something where notes are fine. So I don't know what career you would have as a note passer. But anyway, I thought, why? Everybody has helper animals now. You can have a helper monkey or a helper dog. And I thought, wow, if I had a helper parrot that would just prompt me, that would just sit on my shoulders and go, "Rat! You're still single, bit! Do the still single, bit! Rat!" It would be really unobtrusive, and I could go to auditions and not look at my notes, and they would just go, "You're still single, Bridget! Rat!" So I would have a helper parrot. So now every time I look at my notes, I'll just go, "Rat! Tell him the singles joke! Rat!" So I'm still single. And I've noticed that people brag about their children all the time. I hope none of your parents, right? But people brag constantly. And men will say things like, "I have an exceptional child." Every man that I dated that had kids said something like, "My child is, just absolutely amazing, exceptional." And I thought, that's not statistically possible for all of you to have exceptional children. Some of them are at least average. It's not. So I started, when they said that, I would just kind of go, "Oh, your child isn't, you don't have an exceptional child." And then one guy showed me a picture of his daughter, and I said, "Oh, she's cute." And he said, "No, my daughter's beautiful." And I said, "She's okay." How do you say that nicely? But people do brag constantly. They won't brag about themselves, but they'll brag about their children. What's wrong with you? Brag about yourself. I'll brag about myself. So obviously I'm a single cat lady. And so, eventually dating, the guy says, "I've got something to tell you." And usually it's something like, "Oh, I have herpes," or something. But I just sort of smile blandly and say, "That's okay, I have 3 cats." And if they look at me askance, I say, No, it's okay, I raise them for meat." It always makes things better. So I have 3 cats, and adopting an animal is a little bit like getting a Russian mail-order bride. You get them because they're attractive and they look sane, and you offer to pay for them for the rest of their lives. So I have a little Russian mail-order bride cat who wants me to pay for everything but won't let me touch her. So we have as kind of a standoff going. I'm going to India for Christmas this year. Thank you. I think it's going to be sort of like Burning Man. Only with lots of typhus and diarrhea and everything. But last year I went to Italy for Christmas, and I'm from Oakland, and I realized something, that I can sleep through gunshots but not church bells. The other thing I'm doing to improve myself is I'm taking a women's studies class, and the first day I was really disappointed because I thought they were going to teach me how to do my hair and makeup. It's really bogus. The other thing that, if you notice, women's studies always are really into the vagina monologues, you know, that play. And it's so stupid because it's not realistic at all. I think a more realistic vagina monologue would kind of go like this. Get off the stage, Bridget! You guys have been great. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bridget Schwartz, let her hear it. All right, all right. Are you guys ready for our headliner? Absolutely. Our headliner is a local guy who performs at the Phoenix, Throckmorton, and all over the Bay Area. Please put your hands together for Griffin Daly.
Americans, I love you. Clever people. Clever. Only you guys would have come up with cutting all the wings off all of those little tiny newborn baby buffaloes. Clever people. You guys like rugby? What? Come on, what rugby club is that? What team? Anyone know? You don't know, do you? I'll show you. Ralph Lauren. See? Christmas present last year. Politics. Looks like it's going to be a Clinton-Trump race, doesn't it, eh? God help us. I can't believe that ugly little bitch is going to try and run against Hillary. The US, this was on the news last week, it's true. Someone might remember. It was a week ago, I know you've got bad memories. But look, on the news, like, the American government says that in the last year, more Mexican nationals have left the US than entered the US. Huh? The Mexican government is building a fence. Well, I like them. They're here already, right? You know. We were in London a couple of months ago, and we're at a party, and my ex-wife shows up. She goes, "Oh, Griff, you haven't changed in 30 years." I said, "Thanks, babe." She said, "Yeah, you always look 65. It's starting already, you know. They've been there 3 hours. I said, "Look, I see you still don't wear lipstick, and I know why. You can't keep your goddamn trap shut for long enough to put it on." She goes, "Oh, let's play a guessing game." I said, "Sure." She said, "Okay, guess which one of the kids was yours." The boy. She goes, "No, it was the next door neighbour's kid, silly." Well, it was the 70s, guys. Come on. You remember? No, I don't know. Somebody remembers. It was a fun time, you know. I'm going deaf. I'm getting old, I'm going deaf. I can't hear in this ear hardly at all, you know. And my wife's a gourmet cook. She goes, "Do you like smoked herrings?" I said, "I love smoking heroin." Well, sprinkle in the cigarettes, it's easy. 30 years ago, 1985, I think, my first night in America. I'm in this bar in the city. There's loads of women and no guys. And they're all making fun of me. I must have looked, you know, foreign or something, you know. But this one beautiful girl, Japanese face, but long blonde hair. She goes, oi. Personal question? I said, sure. She goes, a sexual orientation? I said, oh, I love having sex with Orientals. She goes, ew. I said, what, I'm ugly? She goes, no, not ugly exactly, attractively challenged. I said, I know why you don't like me. It's just genuine blondes find me attractive. She goes, this is real. I said, yeah, L'Oreal. No, I didn't always look like this. I had a full head of brown hair back then, you know, like this guy. Only handsome. We were making each other laugh for a couple of hours, you know, and she ended up taking me home. So I got her in the end, you know, well, both ends. See, that's what I like about you California girls. You're feisty. Easy, but feisty. Lovely, yes. Well, I didn't know how much longer I was going to be here, you know, so you got to make the most of it, right? And I always say, you know, when in Rome, do a few Romans. Oh, dear, boys and girls. So, who was here last time I was on? You were, right? Yeah, well, I was talking about when I was a priest back in the 70s, right? And priests get loads of women. Big surprise. Now, I know, you don't know, but it's true. Look, I'll tell you why. Because they all think you're gay, right? They want to convert you. I used to get straightened out 5 or 6 times a week. It was lovely stuff. Yeah. This young widow called me one day. Oh, I need some grief counselling. Come round, I'll make you lunch. I said, okay, Eileen, I'll be there. Do I need to bring anything? Oh, no, it's okay. I'm still on the pill. After church one day, right? I'm mentioning all the collection boxes, you know, for whiskey money. And this beautiful girl walks in. Looks a lot like you. Not as pretty as you, but still smoking hot, you know. She goes in the confessional booth, gives me the nod. I go in the other side. She says, oh, I'm such a sinner. I'm a nymphomaniac. And I'm a married woman and I've had sex with 5 different men this week already. Is there anything I can do? I said, yes. Come round this side. I showed her the love of the Lord Almighty. But I did forgive her for my sins, you know. Well, you've got to, haven't you? Yeah, I've got to go now. But look, you know, London, haven't been to London? It's a little song might remind you. Here we go. Oh, the New Bay Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. New Bay Bridge is falling down. Guess who's paying? Well, thank you guys. You're fantastic. Here's Adam. Thank you, sir.
Griffin Daly, give it up for him. And give it up for all the comics that you saw tonight. We had Bridget Schwartz, we had Danny Detchi, and Griffin Daly. I've been Adam McLaughlin, and you've been amazing. Thank you very much.